We'll get started. For those of you who don't know me, and by now I'm sure pretty much all of you do, I'm Peter Savio. I'm the broker who's destroying the mic. I'm the broker who's handling the lease-to-fee conversion. I want to welcome Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? It's all right now, or do I have to be closer? Closer. Now I sound deep voice, kind of sexy and okay. Sounds like me. Okay, anyway, I'm Peter Savio. I'm the real estate broker who's assisting your board of directors with the fee conversion. Tonight's meeting is really a chance for you to get to talk to the lenders who have expressed an interest in financing the Discovery Bay lease-to-fee conversion. And we have here today American Savings Bank, Bank of Hawaii, Central Pacific Bank, Finance Factors, Hawaii State Federal Credit Union, Hawaii USA Federal Credit Union, Mortgage Hawaii, and also Hawaii Federal or Central Federal Credit Unit will also consider making loans. And we hope more lenders will join as we start the process. The actual conversion is going to happen in January. The financing will be needed at that point. Tonight's meeting is a chance for you to meet the lenders, get to know what their requirements are, what they're looking for. It's very important, since we do have a time frame we're trying to follow in this process, that you really find out from the lenders what do they require. If they need 2 or 3 years of tax returns, do you have them? If you don't, apply with the federal government to get a copy, because it could take months and months to get a copy, and it could delay the process as you go through. They may require space stubs or other information to verify all of your information for the loan. So please check with them about that, find out what programs they're offering, talk story with them, and we kind of take it from there. If you're looking on the, do I click it or is someone else clicking it? Oh, you're clicking it? Okay. Go to the next slide. Okay. This is the slide we've used throughout the process just to help anchor everyone. We started off with the beneficial interest, which is like the stock in the trust. Then, at some point, we go lease fee, where we take the beneficial interest, convert it to the actual ownership of the land, and take it out of the trust. And following that would be the fee simple conversion. So you can see in this form, we started buying beneficial in 2004, and by August of 2023, we had 93.786%. As of November 7th, we now are at 96.893%. Only one landowner still owns an interest. The good news is he has agreed to sell in the future. He has agreed to sell before the lease ends. He has agreed to what the rent will be for the full term of the lease. He has agreed for the process on pricing the lease fee at the time he sells. In effect, all of the uncertainty that goes with leasehold has been removed from Discovery Bay with this fee conversion. Even though 3% is leasehold, it has an option, or you have an option, the board has an option, or an obligation, or a right to buy that interest. And when they do, you will be fee simple. So all of that uncertainty of leasehold is gone. The interesting news is we met with the Board of Realtors, and we met with their attorneys, and we asked them, how do we describe this if people want to sell their property? Is it 96% leasehold and 3% fee? Is it fee simple? Here's the facts. They came back and determined with their attorneys that it's fee simple. And so if they're going to require on people who want to sell their units or list their units this language, and we will get copies to everybody. We just don't have it for today's meeting. The apartment is 96.89% fee simple and 3.107% leasehold. with the option or right to purchase the remaining lease fee interest prior to expiration of the lease. The lease rent is known for the remaining term of the lease, and the price of the remaining lease fee interest will be appraised value at time of the purchase. In other words, all of the uncertainty has been removed, and they're classifying it as a fee simple building. This is a really big win in terms of getting brokers, bankers to understand we are fee simple. We're just what I call qualified, because we're 97% of the way there, and the other 3% will happen just someday in the future.
Peter, the slide is up.
What?
The slide, we have the slide.
The slide is up?
Yeah, we can't MLS.
I can hardly see the slide.
Go.
No, but anyway, just so they have it. Okay, the next slide is nothing more than showing you the closing or the prices for the lease fee. You've seen this before. You'll notice that last column is dealing with the price increase in August 1 of 2025. I want to make sure there's no confusion. That price increase has nothing to do with you contracting. It has to do with you closing. If you do not close by August 1st, 2025, it's a price increase. So you've got a pretty good runway to get your loan approval, get everything done. But again, remember, having the contract alone is not enough to avoid the price increase. You have to have closed on the purchase to avoid that increase. The next slide is dealing with the closing cost. And again, just an estimate of the closing costs. So if you're talking to the lenders, you could prepare. The closing cost seems high, but $2,000 of that is my fee or my company's fee for all of the agents who are going to help you through this process. So your closing costs compared to other real estate transactions are reasonable. It's just that our fee is in there also. And again, that's explained at the bottom. Again, the next one is just a calendar of the major dates, again, for everyone to remember. December 20th, we acquired the 96%. January 12th is the start date for the lease to fee conversion. That will be the meeting where we'll explain the sales contract. We'll have the sales contract available. You will be able to sign the contract, and you can start the process to buy. The sales meeting will be on the 12th. Another one will be held on Zoom on the 17th. February 15, 2024 is when we anticipate we will start closing. More than likely, that will be on the cash buyers. People who are able to finance another property, people who had other cash from other investments. So we'll start on the cash buyers immediately. Again, remember in Hawaii, we have a system where you have a certain number of documents that can record on any given day for a particular project. So we're lucky if we can close 12 a day, as an example. So if we have 100 people, it's not going to happen that first day. It'll be 12, 10, 12, 11, whatever, as we go through the process. So just be aware of that, because I know a lot of the cash buyers, they want to be first. So many people have called, I want to be the first one to close. And turn your contract in right away, you have a chance. Also remember, in fee conversions, we cannot contact you once we start the quiet period. So again, if all of a sudden you don't hear from us, it's because you did not sign your contract or you have not turned it in. If you have a question, you have to call us. We have a quiet period by law where we have to give you a chance to think about it. February 15th, 2024 is the original price being offered. The purchase price or the exclusive price goes up through July 31st, 2025. After that date, the price or the property can be sold to someone else if you do not buy. So you have this period to buy where only you can buy or someone you designate can buy. Your children, your parents, whatever can buy for you. But you control it up until then. After that date, the law allows it to be sold to outside investors. And again, there's no guarantee what will happen or when You know, if they sell it, that the other party will sell it to you, they may want to keep it, they may want a price you don't want to pay. So again, just be aware of it. August 1, 2025 is the date you all want to avoid. Because if you haven't purchased by then, it's a 30% increase in price. So again, our job as the agent is to get everybody to close 6 months before that, so everybody's safe, everybody's okay, everybody gets to buy at the lowest, most favorable price. The next slide is a disclosure that the association has, and it's covering what I talked about, where you have the exclusive right to buy for a period of time. After that, it goes to the general public or investors to buy. And again, it's just summarizing that so everyone has a chance to see that. The next slide is dealing with the Lenders Fair. And again, that's what we're doing now. The lenders are here to outline what they believe their program will look like in January. Now realize the interest rates may go up, they may go down, but you should be looking at what's the term of the loan, what's their down payment, if any, what do they require for the loan, just to get a sense of what the loan or what the lenders are looking at. You should not start the process unless you're able to, unless you're refinancing another unit or you have enough equity as is, and the lender will let you finance Discovery Bay now. Because our problem's gonna be everything gets dated nowadays. So if you order the appraisal too early, it may get dated and you have to start over. If you get a loan commitment, it has a life. And if we take too long to close because of the delay with the Bureau, you may have to start over. So it doesn't make sense to start the process too soon. You're better to start it in January when you know we have something laid out very clearly in terms of timing and everyone's on the same page. The sales packs will be available on that date, and that's probably the time at which you start because everyone will have all of the information. Also an important notice, and I've mentioned this in every meeting, if the owner has any problems or event on title, such as the death of a co-owner, a divorce, a marriage, you should contact us immediately so we can start working with title to get your title cleared. That's another thing that could delay the process or slow it down. So that's kind of a summary. I mean, the meeting today is not for me to explain everything to you. It's for you to talk to the lenders. And I just wanted to give a brief presentation to give a little body to what we're talking about, because some of you may have missed the other meetings or heard part of it but not really understood them. I probably will open for questions and answers if we keep it short, because the job is, you're not here to listen to me. You're here to talk to the lenders. Do we have any questions?
One question. You said that after a certain date, outside investors can purchase. Is that just for that unit?
Okay, try me after a couple days.
Outside investors.
Oh, the outside investor.
Is that for that unit only?
It's the okay, anyone who does not buy by the deadline, the unit can be sold to an outside investor. But it's the people that did not contract. If you contracted to buy, you've locked it up.
Okay,
So it's yours.
Then it won't affect the lease for the remaining 4% or whatever it is.
The person, okay, if you buy, when they say selling to an investor, they're talking about selling the 96, 97% interest. Whoever buys the 97% interest also has the right to buy the 3% when it becomes available. Okay? Question?
Has your firm experienced as of today any demand by outside investors? I know they can't get in here now.
I have an outside investor that will buy every single lease to fee that you guys don't buy. And if I wasn't selling it, I'd buy it. If the price is so favorable, I would buy every single one.
If you need another outside investor, contact.
Well, I'll be honest with you, a lot of the investors are owners in the building. Outside investors, they're drooling. I actually exactly expect them to start knocking on your doors and slipping flyers under your doors. If your security's not real tight, they get in. You have to realize there's got to be the least speed deal of the century for a building of discovery-based quality, and the price is probably 1/2 of what it should be, if not even lower. So it's a good deal. Any other questions? Gentleman in back.
If you're a cash buyer, and you happen to be one of the lucky 12 to be in the first of the line to make a deal, and you make the deal, how soon does your rent payments stop?
Your rent will stop the day you close.
The day.
The day you close, not the day you give escrow the money, the day they close.
And how long, what's that spread between?
My guess is it's gonna take, okay, escrow's gonna start processing, well, I would assume they're gonna process all the cash buyers first. So you turn your contract in, we give it to escrow, they start ordering the title search or updating the title search, because I'm pretty sure they've probably done most of them, okay? And once that starts, they're gonna be just going as fast as they can. It could be 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks before they're ready to close. When they're ready to close, they'll ask you to bring the money in. You bring the money in, and usually 3, 4 days later, you're closed. Lease rent stops. You get your deed, and you're done. So it's relatively fast. It's just, we're going to get bogged down just because of the sheer numbers. But the bogged down is not the issue. We can handle it at 12 a day.
If we decide to purchase the fee, do we work directly with you, or do we need to get a broker, and the broker works with you?
You can get a broker if you want, but you have to compensate him. Personally, I don't think you need a broker because this is a highly structured transaction. You take it or you leave it. You can't negotiate the price. You can't negotiate the terms. Everybody gets the same deal. Everybody gets the same price based on percentage interest. So if you feel a need, by all means, hire someone just because it makes you feel warm and fuzzy. But I don't believe that's necessary because there's nothing to negotiate. Right? And the board has done a good job of protecting you. Your building has attorneys that have looked at all of this. This transaction's gone through tons and tons of attorney. Every lessor had an attorney. You know, you're in good hands. Any other questions?
Where and when do we get the contract?
You'll get it on the meeting in January 12th. So you come there, we give the meetings out that day, contracts out that day. As a rule, usually 30 to 40% of the people will fill them out right there, sign them, and turn them in. And that's the best way to get the whole process started. Question?
Is there an advantage for waiting until the last day, July 25?
I wouldn't risk it.
What is the risk?
The risk, you miss the date. You get ready to close, your wife's a partner, she passed away, whatever, you're stuck. Also remember, waiting, you're still paying rent. If you buy, you're paying interest. So it's not necessarily saving money to wait, but you do run the risk that something could go wrong. So there's no real advantage to wait. Any other questions?
Signing contract on the first day, but you don't have the loan money set up yet. Does that present a problem, or does the contract just wait for you to get a loan?
The contract is subject to financing. If you sign the contract and say you're a cash buyer, we immediately check the cash box and start the processing. Those that are going for financing will wait for the lender to approve, but they can at least put you into the hopper. They can start the escrow account. They can be doing the title searches, etc. So it pays to get your contract in sooner than later. Any other questions?
How did you come up with your fees? How did you come up with your fees?
They got me drunk and got a really good price out of me. No, our fee, we most brokers charge 5-6%. I think we're charging 2, something. It's a very low percent, but we looked at how much time it's going to take, and so we charged accordingly. We already don't feel sorry for us, by the way, because we got paid a commission when you bought the property, because we helped to negotiate that. So it's a very reasonable fare. I would like to say I get it all, but my agents get most of it. So it goes to all the agents, and then the house or the company gets a piece of it also. Question in back, I saw it. Okay.
Are existing owners considered outside investors?
You got to talk louder.
Are existing owners
existing owners. You're an outside investor if you buy any other unit other than the one you own. Okay? You can only buy the one you own legally. You have a question still?
Approximately, when might the opportunity to buy another fee?
What was the question?
When can he buy another one?
We will let you know when, but it's gonna be, 2025 or right around that time. Okay? A lot of owners, if you're not gonna buy, you'd be better off to sell your unit now with the fee available. Because as a lessee, you'll get the highest price. If you wait until 2025 and the price goes up 30%, the leasehold value goes down 30%. So it makes no sense to wait. So if you can't buy, you don't have the money, you don't want to buy, don't just sit and wait. Put your unit on the market, sell it fee available, you'll get the absolute highest price now. But if you wait and get too close to 2025, the price of the unit, not the land, the price of the unit will go down 30% because the price of the land went up 30%. So don't wait, buy.
So you're saying that the Board of Realtors also said we can put a unit on the market as fee available right now?
Correct. The language that we gave you will send out. So I suspect they're gonna, the question is, how do you define this building? I've always said it's gonna be fee simple because whatever the last step is, it's pretty much structured into the transaction. So in the old days, we called it like qualified fee. It was subject to one more thing happening. Okay, we don't use that term anymore, but the board, after we explained it to them, they said, okay, talk to their attorney. We talked to the attorney. He immediately saw it and said, Peter, it's fee. We'll take it as fee. And I think most of our lenders made that determination also. So I think we're in pretty good shape right now. Any other questions? The lady right there in the black hat, I think.
The contract on January 12th, do we sign that with you, with discussing AOAO, with the lender? Who's the
Okay,
contract?
I'm the agent, so I'll give you the contract. You sign it, give it back to me. I'll take it to the AOAO, I'll take it to the escrow, we'll process it for you. But we're representing the Association of Apartment Owners. We represent the board, and we actually represent all of you through the board. Okay, you have a question?
Yeah, where is the sales meeting on January 12th?
It's gonna be where, they're having their annual meeting, and we're gonna follow. So you'll have your annual meeting, then after that's finished, I'm the entertainment. So I come after that. I'll try to be a little more humorous so you'll enjoy the entertainment, but it's not a really exciting topic. Any other questions? The man in,
Is there a cap on the 3%, how much can tenant be in dollars?
the dollars, it's subject to appraisal. So whatever the land would be by appraisal, if we don't accept the appraisal, we have the right to arbitrate by getting additional appraisals, and then they negotiate what they believe the correct number is, which is standard for Hawaii when there's disputes on land values. It's a very realistic system to assure you don't get taken advantage of. The big problem, if it was just 3% and he's gonna sell it, he could ask for 100 million, and it could only be worth 10 million. But you're fighting it. This way, there's no fight. It's subject, basically, to arbitration through appraisal.
So it's not based on the current lease?
No. I don't think any owner would guarantee their price for the next 10 or 15 years, because values go up. Okay? The sooner he sells, the better. And I'm pretty sure he will sell sooner than later. Any other questions? We'll do this, Joe.
I'm just curious, how we go from 93, 94 up to 96? We're happy about it.
There were 6% of the owner that refused to sell, one family. Half the family decided to sell. The other half negotiated to say, okay, I'll sell sometime in the future, but I'm not selling right now. Now, that's a biggie, because historically he said he didn't want to sell.
Right.
Now he's saying he will, so I think he sees the advantage to moving on. Any other questions?
One more question. When we sign a contract with you, do we have to know on January 12th, where can I buy it, or family members can buy it, or?
You have the right right to amend the contract as you go through the process.
So we're just saying we're interested, we're just saying we're
You,
interested.
the contract simply says, I'm interested in buying, it's gonna ask how you wanna take title, you could put to be determined, and then we'll start harassing you about, come on, you gotta make up your mind, okay? But so you put to be determined, because a lot of people will start off saying, well, I'm gonna buy it. Then maybe they don't qualify, or they change their mind, then it's, well, my kids buy it. Well, your kids don't want it, it's okay. Can I donate it to my university, and they give me a life estate? Can I donate it to my church? Will they give me a life estate? And you'll be surprised how many schools will do that, because they're buying a $500,000 unit for $70,000, right? So if you want to sell your lease fee, I'll buy it for $70,000. Any other questions?
I have no questions, but I have a statement. Peter, thank you very much for your hard work and make it, allow all of us.
It's your board that deserves all the credit, because they had to put up with me for 15 years.
Good deal. Thank you very much.
Most boards only can take me for 1 or 2 years. Your board did really well. Any other questions?
Yes, I just got in yesterday, and I noticed that a lot of the commercial buildings or space is available. Is there something going on that maybe we are not aware of?
COVID came along, most businesses didn't survive. Hawaii's in a kind of recession when it comes to business spaces. All of the employees have left the state, and it's hard to hire people. You can't even open a restaurant today because you can't get employees to work. So it has nothing to do with the building or anything else other than the economic situation we find ourselves in. What you're seeing is not unique to Discovery Bay. It's unique to pretty much, you know, how many of you ever go to Zippy's? Okay, I go to Zippy's all the time, and a couple of times I've gone, the store was closed because they couldn't get anyone to work that day. It never happened before. I go to Zippy's now, and they got half the restaurant closed because the waitress didn't come in, or she went to the mainland, and they have to find a replacement. I can tell you right now, hundreds of thousands of people, our workers, our middle class, or not our middle or lower group, all the workers, they've left. So we're struggling right now. That's the reason you see this shrinkage in the retail market. Question?
Yes. I'm aware that in January of next year, you may begin the process.
Correct.
So let's say the early birders complete the process by, we'll say, Easter of 2024.
Correct.
And I'm gonna make an assumption here, just an assumption. I'll assume the economy goes into the tank nationwide,
Okay.
and it remains in the tank as of July 1 of 2025.
Correct.
Is that good or bad for us?
For your lease to fee, it's sort of neutral, because your cost to buy is comparable to your cost to rent. And if you continue to rent, you're going to go in the tank even further. Right now, your unit is selling, let's say your typical unit on a studio selling for $300,000 or $400,000, whatever it is. It's only selling at that because you owned 60 or 70 or 80%. If you were 100% leasehold, your unit would be selling for about $60,000 or $70,000. You guys had the good fortune of buying your lease fee early and controlling the value of your unit, right? If you were purely leasehold, your unit would be worth $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. Look at what happened to Kahala Beach. $1 million units. You could pick them up for $50,000, $30,000, because they had 5 years, 6 years left on the lease, and no hope of ever getting a fee conversion. Okay, you do not want to be in that leasehold situation. You really have to buy. You really have to buy.
Peter, I understand that some condo buildings do not have adequate resources, so they're having trouble getting adequate hurricane insurance, which would affect their financing. So I'm assuming we're not in that particular situation.
Every building in Hawaii is in that situation. It's becoming a problem for every building, right? Discovery Bay